just, it really just gives, and it would literally be a crime not to share this look with you guys. So here it is. Winter does my lips so bad, it's ridiculous. Like, I cannot even move without a good lip oil. It's just essential. Class is in session, and today we're going to be doing a full face of e.l.f. cosmetics. Let's get some makeup on. I'm actually excited to see how it all comes together because I haven't used these all together before, so we'll see. So of course we're going to start off with priming. We're going to use this e.l.f. Power Grip. I've been using this quite a lot and it has been keeping the makeup together. I'm just going to go ahead and apply this to the skin. As far as like hydration, it does an okay job, but I don't feel like my skin has had a glass of water like it does with the milk, but this one's still good. Also, this primer is super tacky, guys. Like, I haven't ever really finished like blending it in. You guys can tell like she's tacky. So before we get into the actual glam, I have to mention this e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip oil. So good, so good. I think this has to be one of my top lip products over the last year. I had two of these. This one is the Honey Talks, and then I had another one, I think it was a pinky color. These are so good at moisturizing the lips. So I actually have two Complexion e.l.f. products. So I have the Halo Glow liquid filter. I have this in the shade 8, and then I picked this up more recently. This is the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation. I was kind of disappointed because in the store they literally only had 2 dark shades, and the other maybe 25 foundations they had were all light. So I had to just pick this one up purely because this was the closest shade to me. So I picked this up in the shade 61 Rich Cool. I feel like I'm gonna go for this one because I truly do love the Halo Glow filter, especially like in the summertime. It's just gorgeous. I do know this is kind of something that you can put under makeup, but I feel like it's gorgeous like a foundation. So this one here is the Halo Glow in the shade 8 Rich, and this one is the Satin Glow Foundation in shade 61 Cool. I'm just gonna apply that. I'm probably gonna mix this with the Satin Glow Foundation as well. But I love this, especially in like the summertime, because it just has that pretty glow to the skin. This was also really nice. I'm sure I have a review up of this on my channel. Such a pretty foundation. My only downside was that it just wasn't the perfect shade. And I'm just gonna blend this all in with my foundation brush. So gorgeous. I literally cannot get over this glow. Like, let's go into concealers. I have both the versions of the camo concealers. So I have the hydrating version and the normal matte version. My honest opinion, I actually prefer the matte version, and that's a bit crazy because I prefer hydrating products in general. This has a bit more of a creamy, thicker texture, and I prefer that when it comes to me getting coverage with my concealer. But we're going to use both formulas today. So I'm going to start off with the hydrating concealer. This is the shade Deep Cinnamon. Now, one thing I will say that I don't like that e.l.f. has done before, they'll change the shade of a concealer shade you've purchased, and then when you go back to purchase it again, it's a different color but the same name. Don't like that. So that is the shade there. A little more orange than I would like, but we can make it work. And my nose. It's definitely pigmented. It looks very nice and blendable. I just, personal preference, I just prefer the matte version. I feel like it's a bit more what I'm used to. So we're gonna blend this out with a beauty sponge as usual, because you guys know I love me a beauty sponge. Make sure you leave it to sit down so you can get the most coverage and like the most out of the concealer, especially if you're using a sponge as well, because when you do use a sponge sometimes you can absorb some of the products, but the drier it is, the less likely that's going to happen. So very nice. Oh wait, I feel like I had an original opinion about this, and now I feel like as I'm putting it on it's changing, because this looks really nice. I'm actually like shocked at every step because I didn't really love this shade when I like the last time I tried it on, and now it's like it looks good. Like, I like this. Okay, let's continue blending. So now I'm going to go ahead and do some bronzing. I'm going to go ahead and use this Soft Glam foundation that I used a little bit earlier, and I'm just going to use that as like a bronzer today. I'm going to use the Say brush. I'm just going to kind of tap it on here. Oh, it is a bit close to my skin tone, so I don't really think it's going to give me what I was thinking. I mean, it's bronzing slightly. So I'm actually going to substitute. I'm just going to go with a darker concealer. This is a Revolution concealer in the shade 18. I'm just gonna deepen that up a little bit. Down my nose as well. That is the placement. I do know Elf did come out with like a liquid bronzer contour, but I just didn't like the shades, honestly. When I saw them online, it just didn't give depth. But let's blend this in. I think I'm gonna use a brush at first, and then maybe I might go in with the sponge. But I have not done liquid in so long, so please kind of diffuse it first. Just kind of wanting to diffuse it, and then I'm going to go over it with my beauty sponge. I'm going to go in with my lighter concealer, and I'm using the camo concealer again, but this is the matte version, and I'm using the shade Tan Neutral. Don't worry, your girl's got blending skills. We're going to blend this in nicely. Just applying a dot on each side, and I'm going to use the same beauty sponge, the same side I used the concealer before. And we're just going to blend this in, and we're going to focus it on this area. I don't bring this out, just this, like, just directly under the eyes. So this is the base. I am loving how glowy and how, like, just hydrated my skin looks. I actually don't have any elf powder, so I'm just gonna substitute that for something else. I did go and like have a look on the website to see like, do they actually have a powder, and the only one they really had was a halo glow powder, but I don't want anything glowing under my eyes, so I'm just gonna substitute it for another drugstore alternative. This is the Revolution banana powder, and if you're not new here, you guys know how I feel about powders. I'm very much spend a little extra money and get a high-end powder that you know is like foolproof. But we're gonna try this one out again because I had tried this in the past and it did work okay. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see, because when it comes to powders, I'm pretty tough. So we'll see how this goes. Guys, I almost forgot a step, but I'm not completely done, so I can quickly just throw it on now. My blush. How can I forget my liquid blush, and I'm already putting on powder. So I do have two e.l.f. liquid blushes. These are the camo liquid blushes in, what's this one? Coming in hot pink, and then I have bronze bombshell. We're gonna do a little sunset vibe. Two here, under there. I'm gonna use the same sponge that I used for the bronzer. I'm just gonna diffuse this in. And my honest opinion on these blushes, they're very pigmented and super nice, but I feel like they blend away so quickly, especially with a sponge. Maybe I'm gonna try a brush. I might go back in with a brush because I don't know if you guys can see how quickly that blended, and it's a very like subtle flush of color, but I prefer something a bit more pigmented, especially with a liquid blush, because we're going to go in with powders and it's so easy for it to get lost. Okay, I feel like I actually got a little bit more out of this side because I put powder down, because I feel like it's sticking to it, so that's a good sign. So I'm just going to use the same brush and see if I get a little bit more pigmentation, and so far I feel like yes. Yeah, so if you want the pigment to really pop out with this blush, you're probably going to want to use a brush with it for sure. Okay, so that's what we have so far. The face is already looking snatched, like yes, love this. I'm gonna use excess powder from the brush and just kind of mattify any areas I want to mattify. Usually it's my forehead, my eyes. I feel like you can see it's quite light, but it still looks pretty flawless. And I think once I add like bronzer, powder, blush, I think we're going to be in the game. So for bronzer, correct me if I'm wrong, but I didn't see that e.l.f. have a powder bronzer. They have like liquid, and they also have these bronzers. I forgot to show you guys these. I have the putty bronzer. I have this, I think it's in the shade Chestnut or something. No, Sunkissed. Chestnut is so difficult. It's in the shade Sunkissed. And I also have these putty blushes, which are like cream blushes. These are nice, but I feel like because the container's so small, I just don't reach for them, because it's just like, I guess for me, I feel like it's a bit of a hassle to get my brushes in here. Like I just can't be bothered. But these blushes are pretty cute. They're really nice for like summer. Like they're very glowy and they give like skin-like vibes. The bronzer I didn't love. I just feel like it wasn't pigmented enough, but yeah, that's a little rapid review. So the other alternative that I have, I'm so sorry guys, it's discontinued. So this is the Revolution Glow Bronzer in Dark, and I'm so sad my deep one fell and broke, and now I don't have that one anymore, and I absolutely loved like mixing them, but I am just gonna go in with dark just to bronze the face. I'm gonna use this, and this is so pretty. Just gonna use that to warm up the skin. I do love that you can still see the blush through, like even though I've put powder on top, you can still kind of see my blush through. But I'm gonna go in with the NYX just a tiny bit, just to add a little bit more color to the cheek area. I'm just going to go with my face powder just to set my chin area. This is not e.l.f. I'm substituting again, but because the foundation's so glowy, I don't want my chin to be glowy. I'm sorry. So for setting sprays, I actually have two to choose from. So this is the first one that I purchased, which is the Stay All Night Microfine Setting Mist. And this is like my day-to-day go-to setting spray. I do have the one size, the Charlotte Tilbury's, but because they're more pricey, I do use them more so like when I'm really going out and I really need it. But I use this more my day-to-day, like my everyday glam, and as you can tell, it's literally nearly done. So definitely love her. And then the newest setting spray that I got is the Power Grip Dewy Setting Spray. Now I was intrigued by this because again, I feel like this was kind of a dupe of the Milk like setting spray that they had with the primer, and I didn't want to buy that one, so I was like, you know what, let me try this one out. And the dewy kind of was intriguing to me because I'm like, a dewy setting spray, how's that gonna work? But yeah, we're gonna use this one today because I do feel like my skin overall is quite matte, so we could do with a little glow, you know, a little bit of glow. So let's go ahead and use this. I'm just gonna spray. Do you see how it just brought the life back into my skin? You see the glow? You see the glow? You see the dewy? Yeah, I just don't like my eyes looking glowy, like my eyelids, so I like to just go over that with a bit of powder, just like a little dusting, because I can't. That's the only parts of my face and like my brows where I just can't do the glow. So just like around my mouth as well. I'm just like, yes, 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 the skin, the blush of it all. So for lip gloss, I have this e.l.f. plumping gloss. It's the lip gloss in the shade Pink Cosmo Rose. This, I remember when I purchased this, I was just looking for like a cool tone, like milky gloss. I just was in that era, and it's super pretty and super nice. So I'm gonna apply this. It's like a really like light like pastel-y pink, but it's sheer enough to where it doesn't look like a ear donor or something crazy, you know. So we are done. This is the finished look. Flawless, if I do say so myself. I'm sorry, like everything came together so seamlessly. Like the blush is so pretty. I feel like the sunset blush that I did with the e.l.f. camo blushes looks so good. Everything looks good though, like the complexion, the foundation that I did, the gloss is giving. As always, I will link all the products I used today down below. It's mostly e.l.f. cosmetics, but I will add the substitutes as well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, especially because it's drugstore. I know you guys like my affordable drugstore makeup looks, and let me know. I think I'm gonna do more like one brand videos and see kind of how the look comes out and how my face comes out, and to see how I like it, because I'm pleasantly, I won't want to say I'm surprised, because I feel like e.l.f. has been coming out with really good products, but it's just the flawlessness of it all. Don't forget to give me a nice thumbs up, comment down below what's your favorite product from e.l.f., subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next